with Two Souls, One Spoon, and this week we are taking you to Vietnam.
Vietnamese.
It ain't easy being Vietnamese.
We spent 2.5 months travelling around Vietnam, up the coast from the bottom in Saigon all the way up to Hanoi and then Sapa in the north, and one of our favourite places was Hoi An.
Hoi An has loads of traditional dishes which are kind of specific to Hoi An. One of them is Cau Lau, which is what we're creating today.
Cau Lau is basically a pork noodle dish where you marinate the pork and then you sear it, then boil it, and then you serve it with a bit of fresh salad, noodles, the gravy from the marinade and the pork is really nice and tender.
There are a few tweaks that we have to make to the recipe because we're not in Vietnam and can't get all the ingredients, but we did go to an Asian supermarket and buy loads of stuff, so it's exciting. I'm looking forward to it.
You ready?
Let's get to it. So to start our Cau Lau, first of all we have to make the marinade of the pork.
Here we've got lemongrass, turmeric, fresh turmeric,
Fresh garlic.
and 2 chilies, 1 medium and 1 spicy. If you can hear anything weird, unfortunately it is raining, so you have to excuse the British weather once again.
So what we're going to do is chop that up quite finely, then put it all in there with some 5 spice powder, honey and soy sauce. I've started chopping this up, lemongrass into really fine pieces. Now we're going to put it in the pestle and mortar and give it a good bashing. So now I'm going to start chopping the turmeric, which you can probably buy from any Asian supermarkets. It's really orange in colour and it will stain your fingers, so you've got to be careful. I'm going to do it on a plastic chopping board so it doesn't stain our wooden one. So I'm going to finely chop the turmeric.
Very orange, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. I've washed my fingers to the best of my ability and they are still orange.
You shall forever be known as Lorna Orange Lips.
Put that in now.
Might need a spoon.
Two souls!
Spoon.
There we go.
Next, finely chop the chilli.
So now I'm going to put the chilies in the pestle and mortar.
Finely chop the garlic.
So the garlic's finely chopped, I'm going to put that in with the chilli.
Give it a bish bash.
Give it a bish bash bosh. We get this bowl now. So all the fresh wet ingredients are in. Now we're going to put in the 5 spice, soy sauce and honey. Give it a mix up. So we've got this pork here, pork loin, and we're going to cut it into a few pieces and put it in the marinade for an hour. So you want to cut it into chunks.
Like that.
Now I'm coating it in the marinade. Now I'm going to cover it and leave it in the fridge marinating for 1 hour.
You've got a rainbow on your face. I wonder if you can see that on the camera.
I'm a pretty rainbow head.
So the meat's been marinating in the fridge for just over an hour now. We're going to take it out and we're going to start cooking.
Oh, look at that. Just the aromas just sings Asia.
Heat some coconut oil in a pan, and when it's hot, rotate the pan to cover the base before adding in the pork, fat side first.
Honey, oh, sugar, you are my candy girl.
Oh yeah.
When you've stopped messing about and the pork is browned on all sides, add enough water to cover the pork and the remaining marinade and leave for 45 minutes.
The meat has been bubbling away for 45 to 50 minutes and now we're going to put it on a chopping board, let it cool a little bit and keep the marinade sauce sizzling. The problem piece. Okay, so I'm going to put this back on the hob for a bit.
Cover this with foil just to keep it warm, but let it rest. We've got everything ready now to plate it up. We've got the pork, which is ready to be sliced. We've got the fresh herbs, a bit of salad, pork crackle, which goes on top for a bit of crunch. We've got udon noodles, which we're going to be using instead of the traditional Cau Lau noodles, bean sprouts, and onions, chilli and lime to go on top as well.
So just a bit of info about the traditional Hoi An Cau Lau noodles. They're actually homemade traditionally Hoi An, and they are soaked in water with ash, but it's ash from a spinach leaf. And that kind of absorbed into the noodles to give it a really unique flavour. Obviously we don't know how to make those or can't make those here, so we were told to use udon noodles instead.
So the idea of the pork is to slice it quite thinly against the grain.
So we did a cooking class in Hoi An in Vietnam, and we were taught by our teacher by cutting against the grain it makes the slice overall more tender. So by against the grain I mean if the grain's facing downwards that way, you cut against it that way. So that's what Matt's doing. So the pork's all cut. I'm going to cover that just for a minute to keep it warm while we do everything else, just loosely with the foil from before. Now we want to get the noodles ready with the bean sprouts.
Add boiling water to a saucepan, put the udon noodles in for 2 minutes, then adding the bean sprouts for a further 1 minute before draining.
I'm going to sieve the sauce to get all of the bits out. You don't really want to be chewing on any lemongrass. So I'm going to run that through a strainer into a jug.
So the noodles are drained, the jus is sieved into the jug, and now it's time to plate it up.
Starting with a base for the noodles and bean sprout mixture, add a few slices of pork and pour some of the sauce on top.
Next, add a slice of lime before adding the greens. We used a mixed bag of watercress, spinach and rocket with some fresh Thai basil and mint.
Add some spring onions and red chilli slices for extra garnish before topping with some pork crackle.
So we've plated them up, and there it is, the gorgeous Cau Lau.
Ready to be served. Give it a try.
Let's go. Go in the elevator.
Go in the elevator with me. What floor are you going to, darling?
Let's go to -1.
Cau Lau is basically a pork dish which you I'm into my shark, Elmo. Oh.
See, don't squeeze my bone.
Where do you want it?
Okay.
However do you want it? You ready?
Just trying to set the lid up.